I paid $17,000 to sit in a room for 2 days with Dan Martell and his team. 40 entrepreneurs, every one of us doing over $1 million in revenue, and one guy at the front. I filled an entire notebook, and today I'm handing you the whole thing for free. The mindset, the AI, the dashboards, the move I wish I'd done 17 years ago. Grab your coffee. Let's go.
Hey, I'm Kelly Yadley, and this is The Kelly Yadley Show. Here's the lie we've been sold, that you have to pick, the career or the kid, the big vision or the bedtime story. I'm calling it. That's not the deal. You can have both. I have built businesses for the last 16 years as a single mom, and you can do it without hustling yourself into the ground, but by choosing strategically every single day. This show is for the woman who wants the business, the brand, the freedom, and the family. All of it. So grab your coffee, your kid's juice box, whatever you got in your hand. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome back to the Kelly Yadley Show. I wanted to do an extra bonus podcast because I wanted to talk about my experience going and meeting with Dan in person for his AI Media Empire Summit. And this last 2 days was just phenomenal. Meeting with him and being in the room with him and his team was just phenomenal. There were 40 of us entrepreneurs, business owners in the room. You had to be doing over $1 million in revenue just to apply to be in the room. And we each paid I paid $17,000 to be in that room. And we got one-on-one conversations with Dan and his team, Sam, Jared, Joel, Todd, everybody. Like, it was fantastic. So I took lots of notes, and so I wanted to share those. And if I did a reel on Instagram, it just wasn't quite enough time. So I want to go through my takeaways, and then I will also expand as I go. And if you have questions, comment, reach out to me through Instagram. I'm happy to answer those questions as well, because holy cow, it was a lot. 2 days of Dan is intense. So I will say it started off with mindset stuff. It's not the knowing that we need, it's the confidence. And really that is so true in my life. And I know that so many people resonate with that it's not necessarily that we need to know more. We don't need to know more. We just need to have the confidence to step into what we want. And that is so powerful. That is huge. So he also said to make your vision bigger. Sometimes I know women in my life, we have a hard time creating those visions, especially when you're in the middle of motherhood. Everything is about your child and about keeping your life afloat and just everyone alive and moving towards all of their goals. And if they have extracurricular activities or neurodivergencies or challenges or anything like that, you don't have time, white space, to actually what do I want to be doing in 2, 5, 10 years? So I encourage you to grab those moments, which, whether your kid's at soccer or, if you have a moment after they go to bed or in the morning before they wake up, to go and look at those visions. Because he said, make sure that your goals and your visions are big enough to make sure that they prove God exists. So if you actually accomplish those goals, you'll go, God exists because I couldn't have done that on my own. That's powerful. Take time to rewrite your goals. So when you get to a set of goals, celebrate. Make sure that you stop and celebrate. I'm not always good at that. Celebrate those goals and then rewrite them so that they're bigger. Because all of a sudden, when you get to a new level, you have a bigger container to pull from. So you can look at other people and look at other things when you want. And and that's true with me. My goal is continuing to grow as I get, more and more success. I feel it in my spirit. No one will out-adopt the AI that I use. I need to lead. That's very true. So when you're a leader in your organization or your family or, whatever you're doing, no one will out-adopt the AI. And you constantly think, when you're in this world of where we are right now in 2026 with AI, you think that you don't know. It's very, very common. I don't know AI. I don't know the new thing and the latest and the greatest and all that. Stop thinking that way. You know what you know, continue to grow. Hey, we might adopt that saying. You know what you know, continue to grow. I like that. And just don't stop saying that you don't know, because nobody knows. So whenever you think that you got it all, you don't. So just go and figure it out and keep going with the AI. Be the leader of your organization in AI. Map out your numbers. I map out my numbers for content. Like specifically, I want to know how many stories, how many followers, how many views, how many people are interacting with things. That's very important for growing my channel, growing my coaching, growing all my intensity, all of that. When I have a podcast, all of those numbers need to be, there's no way to keep track or how much you're growing if you don't keep track. Map your numbers. Have a dashboard. Like he talked a lot about dashboards. You can go into AI and ask it, make a dashboard for my company so I can see the revenue daily, weekly, monthly, the amount of new clients, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever you want it to see, so that when you pull up your company on any given day, you can see it. Whether it's an Etsy shop or it's, you're doing TikTok shop, like whatever it is, if you're building candles, you need to know what's happening. You need to know your cost of goods. You need to know your revenue. You need to know your expenses. Create a dashboard in AI. And it's very simple. I'm happy to share what I've learned. It's literally talking into the mic. It's literally talking into the mic and going in and learning more. And for me, with my cleaning business, I want to learn how many clients we actually have recurring, because I know that number. It's like a little over 600. I don't know. I want to be able to tell you it's 642. Yesterday, we lost a client because they moved, and another client because we keep messing up their house. And I want to tell you that every week, on average, we get 2 new clients. I can't tell you that right now. I know about what those numbers are because I've had my business for 17 years, but I can't tell you the exact numbers, and I want to be able to tell you the exact numbers. He also mentioned use social media for recruiting. So always be recruiting. And this is like in Keller Williams, the constantly recruiting talent. And that's, you have green, yellow, and red with your employees, with your people that help you. If you have a team, they're working at their green, their highest level, they're messing up, they're at yellow, or they're really on their way out the door, they're red. And so if you've got anybody that's in yellow or red, you need to work on recruiting. And that is that's a given thing. And you can use social media to do that. You can talk to your audience and tell them that you're recruiting, and have a funnel, a system that people come in through that window, and they have, these are the formats or the frameworks on how to apply with you or your company. That was huge for me. Another thing we talked about was standards, raising the standards. And did I put this in here, the identity? Yeah. So create the identity that you are. Like when you stop, the analogy that he was using was when you stop drinking, it's been 60 days, 180 days, 365 days since you've had a drink, or are you not a drinker? So those are 2 different things, right? You're talking about you are a drinker, but it's been that long, or you're just absolutely not a drinker. No alcohol. So the identity comes in with the standards. So when you raise your standards, that's part of your identity. Are you a person that wakes up early? Like, when I hear people say that a lot because I wake up so freaking early. But when people are like, "Oh, I don't wake up early. I'm not a morning person." Blah blah blah. Well, your brain hears that. Your brain knows, "Oh, they're not a morning person. I'm not a morning person, so I don't do that." So when you wake up in the early in the morning, your eyes wake up and you're like, "Oh," you close them back because you're not a morning person. So if you want to be a morning person, start saying that to people. It'll sound weird in your mouth at first. It will. Promise. Promise it will. Hand to God. But the more that you say it and the more you do it, that's your identity now. Boom. Morning person. Welcome. Sam, oh, Sam was talking about using fake accounts to find viral information. So I'm struggling with one of the things that I find challenging in the 85,000 things that I'm trying to learn right now is finding viral content that matches what I want my content to be and kind of matching, mirroring that stuff. And so when I go on my account to go look for those viral things, the algorithm or whatever really shuts me down with what I'm looking for. But if I had a separate account that was looking for just pieces on how to empower women with their vision or giving them permission, then it'll set aside those and I'll just see that. And so I can pull out viral content a lot easier. And so he suggested, I don't know if he does this specifically, but he suggested doing like fake accounts for each content pillar that you have, or like I could have a fake account that just looks for cleaning companies. I could have a fake account that does coaching and podcasting, whatever those, pillars are for you. So, and then Sam also talked about the H.E.I.T framework that they use: hook, explain, illustrate, and teach. H-E-I-T. Hook, explain, illustrate, and teach. So when you're creating a reel on Instagram, they use Instagram a lot, then you do the hook immediately, you explain what you're talking about, you give a story, you illustrate that, and then you teach them something. And a lot of times that is just enough for people to stay through all of the video and really engage with your content. And it feels good because you're giving value. You're teaching people what you know from your gifts and talents, from the from your knowledge, your bank of information of what you've learned in your life. Okay. Joel said, he said, this was really great for me. Create a process to keep you in your zone and capture it all the time. So create ways, like if you want, especially if you want to do content, for example, create ways that you are getting video capture or audio capture for like automatically. So that could be like, for me, I have been doing company meetings for Let Kelly, my cleaning company, for 17 years. I just started recording those videos 3 weeks ago. I know. I just grabbed one of my employees who I see on social media, because you see those employees. It pulls up because I have their cell phone numbers in my phone. So social media shows me that. So I just handed her, I said, hey, can you record this? And sometimes I use the audio, but mostly I just use the video because I'm speaking in Spanish and most of my content is in English. So I want to make sure that, that I'm just using it for the video. But I've been doing that for years. I could have been doing that all this time. So whatever, create it, whatever you're already doing, video that. Get you a tripod or a person. If you always do a video, if you always do a meeting with your company, you always do Zoom calls, record those. If you're always like meeting for content, for coffee with people or whatever, have grab a server or somebody, say, hey, can you video us for like 30 seconds? You don't really need a lot. You don't need to video the whole 30 minutes or hour that you're with somebody. Just those small pockets of time. You don't need the whole 25-minute meeting. You just need a little bit, right, for your content. So just create a process to keep you in your zone so that you don't have to like perform outside of that. And that's good because you only have so much energy and time. Jared, he is the finance guy. He said to use Claude to code and automate the spreadsheets. So no more spreadsheets. We're switching to dashboards. That was huge for me. And I was like, oh, wow, I got to unlock that because I'm a spreadsheet queen. I got a spreadsheet for this, a spreadsheet for that, a spreadsheet for this. But if I had a dashboard, 4 or 5 of those spreadsheets could be put into one dashboard, and that it actually is a visual better. Like you could have some type of red, yellow, green kind of system to see where you're at. Everybody in the company could see that, or the people, execs or whatever, your management or whatever could have that, or you and your, editor person, whatever could do that. I love that. Also talked about, I for myself, I want to see cost of goods sold. So I want to know how much it costs for my cleaning company, I want to know how much it costs to send someone to someone's house for my team for 1 hour. And I have shied away from figuring that out over the years because we have so many pieces to the puzzle. And so I know what I do works, but I don't know like the intricate details of that. And that's the beauty of who I am, right? I am a visionary. So I can create a huge vision, and I also have enough detail inside of my personality that I can focus and get those details done. But I would rather have someone else, like my bookkeeper, my CPA, or my manager, figure out all of those like little minutia details. And I love those people in my life. So if I could focus on getting Claude or AI to help me get more of the cost of goods sold and be more specific on that number, then I'll make different decisions, right? I'll say, no, that's not worth our time, or we need to raise rates for that specific situation. Or I know I'm actively giving someone a gift or a discount. I know that. And so I just have to maybe have a line item that I keep track of that a little bit closer. So I know what I'm doing. I'm actively making those decisions. The Dan AI, he says the agent context data loop learn. So Dan talked about the concept of having a project, a desktop, where you have the data that goes into whatever project you're using for AI, and the loops and the learning. So that's a whole nother topic that goes on. But it was very, very interesting to hear that you can't overwhelm. You've got to give your AI enough data to pull from to make the right dashboards and the right projects and information. If that doesn't have clean data, it's going to hallucinate, it's going to freak out and not give you, and just make stuff up. And so if you're very clear about that, it won't. And that was very interesting to me. I also met with 2 different groups of people afterwards, well, 3 actually, and we talked about AI and building the different dashboards afterwards. And that was very interesting to me, and actually doing the work in real time. And that was really helpful. Some of my goals, we talked about goals for this next quarter. So June's ending. So we're coming into July. We're going into third quarter of 2026. So we're halfway through the year, folks, halfway. So we did July, August, and September for the third quarter, just talking about what we want. And for me, I want to get more followers on Instagram. That's very much a focus for me, because the more followers, the audience you have, the more possibility you have for business, right? And the more impact that you possibly have. And that's very important to me. I want to make sure that my impact and my legacy is huge. Like that's very important to me in my lifetime, especially right now. The meaning that I want for my life to have has really kicked up in the last few years. Going into my 50s, I want my life to mean something. And I don't know if I focused on that very much before, but I do now. And I really, really want that to happen. I want the dashboards for my cleaning company. I want to make sure that I have some AI agents that help us with email. We spend a lot of time on email, and we did an exercise where we set up an AI agent that would go in and read all of the emails and create drafts of responses with the data that it has from us, so that we just have to check it and send. And then also, I want to hire an EA or a virtual assistant for myself. I need help with all of this, the content, the editing, the podcast, the speaking. When I get speaking gigs, I need to make sure that someone's helping me manage all of that, and videography and all of, there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle. I love that, and I need help. I'm one woman show, and your girl is getting maxed out, but I love it. I'm not even complaining a little bit. So, and then we broke down each one of those goals, and we put what are the steps to do that. And so the offer that I need to work on, and the building of my sponsor sheet for my podcast, I want sponsors for my podcast. Like, I want to make sure that happens. So I'm supporting people, and they're supporting me in my goals. Start running Sell by Chat in my DMs on a daily basis. I want to get to 3,500 followers. That's 19 per day new, which is a huge goal, but I think it's possible, right? I want daily posting. I want to work on my H.E.I.T, the dashboards, and then build a support system. So write and post the job description that I need and put it out on an actual recording, and then draft the agents and block onboard time. So yeah, folks, this is just a tip of the iceberg. It was amazing. He has another event in October. There's a general admission. It's $2,000. So it's a much lower ticket item if you want to do that. There's different levels. You can pay more if you want. You can contact him, Dan Martell, on Instagram, and he'll walk you through those different options. But I highly recommend just following his content, because he'll make you a better person. Step into a bigger room. And the people that are all following him, like in our elite and quantum groups, those are the people that are really out there making things happen. And we all help each other. It's not out of the question to DM someone and ask them the question. And everyone's offering it as well. So highly recommend. Can't believe I'm just talking for 20 minutes. Holy cow. I love you so much. Comment, find me on Instagram if you're not already. Let me know how I can help you, and let's continue to grow and support each other in this system. Thanks for listening. If you made it this far, you're a rock star. Share it with someone that might need it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for this. Bye. That's it for this week. If something in this episode hit, do me a favor. Send it to one woman in your life who needs to hear it. That's how this community grows, one honest conversation at a time. Follow the show, leave a review, and come find me on Instagram. I read everything. Remember, strong doesn't mean solo. I'll see you next week.